Over the years, Pixar has made many teaser trailers for their movies. They're the first of their trailers to come out for their respective movies, and they usually just show little snippets of what their movies will look like. They also manage to just make these teaser trailers really enjoyable to watch, and pretty much just promote the movie. And I'd say that some of the best Pixar teaser trailers would have to be the trailer where Mike and Sully get stuck in the kid's bedroom and have to deal with the dog, the WALL-E teaser trailer, the trailer where Woody and Buzz break the fourth wall, and, of course, the Cars 2005 teaser trailer. My first exposure to Green Day. I grew up watching this teaser trailer many times on the Incredibles DVD. And yeah, while the rendering isn't all that amazing or anything, it's really nice to see the test features and the original concepts of what certain racers were supposed to look like. I'm even gonna go as far as saying they're my third favorite generation of Piston Cup racers. In my previous Wings Around the Globe ranking list video, I had teased a ranking list of these guys. So today, I'm going to get started, and I'm about to rank some of these guys. Now, there obviously isn't a whole lot of footage of them or anything, or many pictures too, so just be prepared for some clips that might get overused, or, well, yeah. I'm also going to try and be a little easy on certain racers whose sponsors did actually make it into the film, since they were actually just concepts for those racers at the time. But anyways, guys, let's get ranking. I got a question real quick. Just gonna ask, how is this even possible? There is a racer that combines orange, yellow, and red that is somehow worse than Brush Kerber, who was pretty much the embodiment of why I didn't like those colors together. Yeah, you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna take this one picture, put it on screen, and let it just summarize how Brush Kerber's superior to this guy. Yeah, so basically he's the definition of a racer that tried to be simple and cool, but just failed. Anyways, racer number 9, you're pretty much stuck in D tier, and I don't see you being any higher than D tier. So yeah, hope you enjoy it, you piece of shit. Seriously? Another orange and yellow racer? Well, I mean, not red, but still. Gosh. Okay, but at least for Racer 33, I will admit I do have a positive thing or two to say about him. And I do like the sponsor creativity they were going for, especially since this is actually an Easter egg to A Bug's Life. And despite being simple, his design actually tried something. Yeah, he's still in D tier though, sorry. His design really could have just tried something though. I mean, seriously, it's just yellow with a pretzel on it, and that's all that it really is. With that said, he's honestly got one of the sponsors that I'm really sad wasn't in the movie. I honestly feel like had they at least tried a little bit more than just being this one simple design with a pretzel on it, it honestly could have just been a really good, maybe not amazing, but really good design. Way to go, Pixar. You wasted what could have been a really cool sponsor on this one racer that doesn't even try much. I'm just saying. Hey, there's a racer here combining blue, red, and green. Huh, that's gotta be pretty cool. Oh, you gotta be once again, just like Racer 33, Racer 79 is pretty much just wasted potential. But Kirby Tankson, you said you liked his colors. Yes, but that is no excuse to be a design this bland. Giant Blammer has a really nice color scheme. And, he's pretty colorful. But I don't think those colors were really used all that well. Eric Breaker had nice colors, but they just weren't used in the right way. I do kind of like what Dino Draftsky was going for, with his colors at least, but his design just isn't all that appealing to me. Meanwhile, I think that Chip Gearings really used those colors really well, and funny enough, better than Clutch Aid's Cars 3 stock car could, which is funny, but yeah. And Racer 79. Didn't even use those colors. He just is blue with a logo and a number and some stickers. So yeah, this is just another sponsor that had so much potential to look good, but ultimately Pixar scrapped it. I mean, don't get me wrong, for some racers that are more iconic than these guys. But I honestly think that a few of these sponsors could have been actual ones in the movie. Not to mention that a couple of them could have probably been some of the missing 7 racers that Pixar didn't even bother to animate for some reason. So how in the world do I prefer this guy over Racer 33, whose design actually tried something? Well, because ultimately, I just prefer his colors over Racer 33's and 9. I mean, don't get me wrong though, his design's still very bland and my gosh, there's nothing going on. Just look at it. There is nothing, period. He could have been redesigned into something cooler, but nope, unfortunately. Ah, yes, 86, of course. The number that belongs to none other than Racer 86. Yeah, he's another one of those racers that I just don't have much to say about. I mean, unlike Racer 33, whose colors were just orange and yellow, he actually does have a little bit of white, which I will add, does look kind of nice and would make for a good combo. But the design's bland, so like, seriously? Yeah, I basically just don't like him. To me, out of all the 2005 TV Trail racers, I just gotta say he's one of the most forgettable. But yeah, anyways, we're gonna move on, so let's go to C tier. This time, unlucky number 13 is actually kinda unlucky because this time they're in C tier. And that racer is Racer 40. Now, there are those of us who prefer colorful designs and those who prefer simple ones. I myself am just a fan of both. While Racer 40 might not look like much, he did actually try something, which I'm quite proud of him for, unlike a certain racer, but we'll steer clear of him. I do actually kind of honestly like what his design was going for here. I mean, the icing on the sides kind of make it look like as if icing was put on a car, which I gotta say is a really nice detail. Another thing worth mentioning about him is that his sponsor is actually Ben and Audrey's Frozen Bagels, which is a reference to a movie called A Bug's Life. Again, I'm sorry if I'm forgetting any Bug's Life Easter eggs. A Bug's Life is one of those Pixar movies that I do like, but I'm not super into. One more thing I've got to mention real quick is that in a storyboard of the final race that was released a couple years ago, there was a crown with the 40 on it. And of course, these were King fans. So perhaps maybe he was supposed to be Strip Weathers in the original version of the movie. Though I highly doubt that at that point he was supposed to be based on Richard Petty, because in the final version of the movie, Strip Weathers is actually based off of famous NASCAR driver Richard Petty. And plus, Richard Petty's number is 43 and not 40, so maybe he wasn't originally supposed to be based off him, but eventually plans changed and he was based on Richard Petty. And you can tell this was early since Lightning McQueen's number is still 57. However, Strip Weathers is a Plymouth model in this storyboard, so it's very hard to tell who he was originally going to be. All I gotta say other than that is, I'm happy with the decision to make him a Plymouth model. Whether it was changed to be that or not. And I'm especially happy with the decision for him to be based off Richard Petty because it just fits more. So he's one of the most interesting to me for sure, but all else I gotta say about him is his design can be a little too simple and it's just not all that great. However, it's not really that bad either. And that's all I gotta say, so next. Now, there are some sponsors that were here that did actually make it into the movies. And one of those is Vitaline, which of course was Racer 52's sponsor. AKA the guy that Racer 13 just aggressively turns into and accidentally spins him out. Or maybe on purpose, I don't know. And that's all I really got about him. That and his color scheme's alright, so next. Alright, all jokes aside though, I actually have a bit to say about him, so get ready. First of all, I have kind of an interesting history with who are you, dude, and how did you get my video? I kind of have an interesting history with Vitaline, at least as of recently, that is. James Clean Air's colors just feel so bland and generic, and basically he's one of the least interesting Cars 1 racers to me. Akins is just the same as James Clean Air, except he uses an Aiken Axler model, and oh yeah, he stole Aiken Axler's name. For Brick Yardley, I kind of like the take he did on his design, but it's just not all that appealing, so yeah. Sorry, Brick, but my mind's made up. And Chase Racelot is easily the best Vitaline racer ever. I mean, guys, just look at how cool the colors and the design are. I mean, seriously, definitely a step up from his predecessors. Oh yeah, and apparently their sponsor was the name of this one race from that Bricktune short that was released this year. That's already being forgotten at this point, and probably rightfully so. Sorry. Huh, guess Pixar loves Vitaline so much that they decided to make two of their main characters Vitaline racers, and also decided to have it be the name of this race. Wait a minute. Vitaline 610 is literally the name of the Georgia Motor Speedway race that happened in the Cars Driving Around the World episode that I just made earlier this year called The Wild Race. What the heck? My opinion on Vitaline and the strange coincidence aside though, let's just talk about the racer himself that we're supposed to be focusing on. Racer 52. I think his color combo is pretty decent. It's one that I would have much rather preferred over James Clean Air's boring combo. The design for me though is it's alright. The blue on top that's kind of just going all over, feels kind of weird to me, but I'm like fine with it, I guess. And also, I think the purple is just a little too misunderused, which is very sad. And also, I'm just gonna add that the cyan eyelid thing is just very weird to me. That's the part where I start to think the design's just weird. But overall, I can say that Racer 52 is perfectly fine, and he's better than any other Vita line racer, except for Chase Racelot. I'd be a fool not to consider him the best Vita line racer. Yeah, so the second that Racer 13 took him out was the second that his colors weren't going to be on the racer in the movie. Let's move on to B tier now. Racers I think are pretty good. Mom, can we have strip weathers at home? No, there is strip weathers at home. Strip weathers at home. Yeah, so he's decent. Easily one of the least interesting 2005 teaser trailer racers, but he's nice. I mean, well, here's the thing. I'm not sure if many of y'all know this, but Dinoco is actually a reference to the gas station in Toy Story. But if you look at both logos and compare them, you can tell that they're both very different from one another, just in terms of colors. And this logo's colors were mainly changed to represent one of Richard Petty's real-life cars. Because eventually this sponsor was going to revolve around the King Strip Weathers, who's based on Richard Petty. By the way, I was rewatching one of Car Shifter's videos recently, and the fact that he made an edit of the King that was blue and orange to represent Richard Petty with the Toy Story logo inserted on there kind of just makes me sad for what we could have gotten. Sorry for getting off track there, guys. Anyways, back to Racer 22. His color choices are pretty nice. I mean, again, there's the Toy Story Dinoco logo there, but honestly, his design could have been a bit more, but it's solid. Also, not to mention that he shares these colors with another 2005 teaser trailer racer, who you guys might know as Racer 13. Otherwise known as the original version of Chick Hicks. Lightning McQueen's rival in the first movie. I mean, it's pretty easy once you've put the puzzle pieces together. I mean, first of all, Lightning McQueen was originally supposed to be the 51 as shown in some of the Cars Deleted Scene storyboards, and Racer 13 was aggressively racing Racer 57. And he was also the original prototype racer for Nitroade. You mean to tell me that Chick Hicks was originally supposed to be the racer for the sponsor with some of the best racers ever? Considering that recently I've been a little harsh on a certain racer that races for the sponsor, you would think I don't really like Racer 13 because he doesn't really look like a Nitroade racer. At first, that was kind of the case. I thought he was fine. He was a cool concept for Chick Hicks, but he didn't look like a Nitroade racer. But if I still thought that right now, I'd be a complete idiot. Since Racer 13 is basically just a concept for Nitroade and not an actual, Nitroade racer, I think he just perfectly works fine this way. So, yeah, he's pretty good. Plus, he was supposed to be the original version for Chick Hicks, which is pretty much implied here, like I said. He and Lightning McQueen were supposed to originally be the same model as all the other racers, as you can see here. But in the end, they got changed to be their own unique models, which I actually kind of like since it fits a bit more. And they stand out from other Piston Cup racers. His colors are actually pretty good in my opinion. I mean, seriously, I actually really like the combination of green and orange. They look nice. I think his design, however, I mean, yeah, it's fine. Not because it doesn't have any flames or anything, but just because it doesn't have all that much to it. Am I glad that the colors ultimately changed in the end and Aiken Axler was the Nitroid Racer instead of Chick Hicks? Well, yes, because then we wouldn't have the Nitroid Racers we know and love. But do I also think that Racer 13 was a pretty cool concept at the time? Well, also yes, he's pretty cool. But I ultimately think that in the end, he's really just a cool concept for Chick Hicks. One of the characters who's most responsible for Lightning's character development. It's just interesting to me how him going from being the Nitroid Racer to the HDB Racer just resulted in one of my favorite sponsor of all time, which is Nitroid. It's just funny to me. He's nothing too special, but he's one of the more interesting teaser trailer racers to me. Also, I love the silly fan-made names I keep seeing for these two guys. Those being Brian Brooks and Dustin Willer. I don't know, they're two of the most popular that I've seen. They're kind of goofy, but I'm like, what the heck with them. Speaking of Racer 57, Racer 57, otherwise known as Beta Lightning McQueen. Or I guess Dustin Willer, as I see a lot of people call him already, or Montgomery McQueen, or whatever you want to call him, I'm fine with. But for this ranking list, I'll be calling him Racer 57, so just stick with it, guys. Now, it's pretty much obvious that he's the original version of Lightning McQueen, because as shown in the car's deleted scenes, Lightning McQueen was originally supposed to be 57 in honor of John Lasseter's birth year. However, it got changed to 95 to represent Toy Story's release date. The biggest changes were definitely his model and the design, because now he's wearing a lightning bolt and there's not that much blue on him. Neither is a seal, but yeah. So how do I feel about this change? Yeah, I'm actually really happy about the design changing, to be honest. I mean, first of all, his model makes him stand out from other Piston Cup racers. And secondly, there's not too much going on for his design. Meanwhile, he's got a beautiful lightning bolt on the side, plus a really nice Rust-eze logo in general. And he's looking really well. I do think he at least has a really nice color combination though. The red, along with the yellow and the cyan seal, look really nice together. Plus, he is one of the most interesting 2005 teaser trailer racers to me, so what the heck. Though I am kind of sad that Corrosion Seal as a sponsor wasn't in the final version of the movie, since Nitroid was lucky enough to get into the movie and sponsor a racer despite not being Chick Hicks' sponsor. Corrosion Seal, on the other hand, if only they could have been in the movie. I mean, who knows what a Corrosion Seal racer could have looked like? Now, this is the example of a simple design that I actually really like. And that example is Racer 60. His sponsor is another Easter egg that appeared in A Bug's Life again. Most of these sponsors are references to Toy Story or A Bug's Life, a few of Pixar's earliest films, which I'm going to add is another one of my favorite things about this generation of racers. I just think there's something really cool about this whole sunshine design he has going on for him. I mean, I don't know. It just looks really nice on him. He's not all that interesting or anything, but I think he's pretty cool for what he is. So yeah, I gotta say I'm a pretty big fan of him. Well, that was real short. Shall we move on? We are now moving on to A tier. Racers I think are pretty great. Introducing Racer 10, the next racer on this list. He races for Tito's Frozen Corn Dogs. I believe another sponsor that appeared in A Bug's Life. He's really just as high up on this list because I freaking love corn dogs. And I haven't had any in a while, and I should get some. And yeah, that's pretty much just about it. All jokes aside though, those aren't the only reasons I like him so much. I actually think he has a pretty cool design in my opinion. I think he's got a pretty nice looking design for what's going on with him. The yellow on the sides is pretty good, and I like the white on the hood. And his color combo is pretty cool too, right? Well, yeah, it's good. It may be a little bit odd, but I think it's really nice. My only problem with it is the logo being brown. I don't know, I guess it just looks kind of weird to me, I guess. But he's still very satisfying, and he deserves to be at... Anyways, moving on. Route 66? I thought you meant to say Racer 66. I personally think that his color combination is really cool, and his simple design is also used really well for it. He reminds me of Sage Vanderspin, Rex Reveler, two of the Gaskets racers who, while they had really nice color combinations, their designs were, fine. Wait a minute. But here, I just think it's really satisfying. Is it a little simple? Yes. Is it freaking cool though? Heck yeah. I mean, if there's one thing I've learned, it's that not all designs on cars have to be very colorful to look cool. These gotta have really nice designs and really nice colors that I really like. And yeah, they're pretty cool. Not that I'm saying that Racer 66 is all that amazing or anything. Obviously, he's an A tier, not S tier, but he looks nice. I think his red on the front bumper going into the sides a little, along with the yellow, is just really good looking. Not trying to sound like I don't like Sage Vanderspin or Rex Reveler or anything. I think they're both pretty cool racers. It's just that neither of them have ever really been two of my favorites from their respective generations. Racer 66 just feels like he's built different. And yes, I know he's not a Gaskets racer, but he does have a similar color combination to them, so that's why I compared him to both of them. But anyways, now we're gonna move on to S tier. Racers I think are amazing. Starting off the top 5, we got Racer 85. I'm going to start off by saying that I actually really like his design. I think it just looks, really good on him. Especially his color combo too. His color combo also reminds me of a Cars 1 racer who I actually really like. Billy Oil Changer, the racer who combines orange, black, yellow, and white. And it honestly looks really cool. Racer 85 doesn't really have any yellow, and Billy's only white is really just his number. But still. And also, his number is 58. I'm talking about Racer 85, and now I'm talking about Billy Oil Changer, who has his number swapped from 85. Yeah, if there's one teaser trailer racer that feels like he's a concept for a racer whose original sponsor wasn't even in the original version of the movie, I'd say that's Racer 85, because, he feels like one for Billy Oil Changer. So you're probably wondering if I prefer this guy or Billy Oil Changer. Well, I honestly think that Billy Oil Changer is superior, because of his really nice color combination, his design, and his iconic moment in the movie, which is this one right here. Yes, another racer who shares the same number as my OC, Kirby Tankson, Racer 39. I don't know what it is, guys, but for some reason, I just love the number 39 so much. Maybe perhaps it's because Buck was once my favorite at one point, prior to him getting dethroned by Phil Tankson or me having a YouTube channel. Plus, he and Ryan are two of my favorites from their respective generations. I actually think that red, blue, and white is actually a really cool color combo. I don't know why, just a really satisfying color combo for him. Plus, a really nice design as well. Plus, he's got a little bit of yellow on that logo. Really nice. My only small complaint about him is that I kind of wish that his roof were blue instead of white. Then I felt like that he could have been just a little bit higher on this list, but 4 is still a good spot for him. Todd, is that you? Todd, the Pizza Planet race car, perhaps? The Pizza Planet truck is one of the most iconic Pixar Easter eggs that has appeared in every Pixar movie. He either appears as a truck or he appears as a hidden reference somewhere in the movie. But no matter what, he's always there. And it looks like one of the 2005 teaser trailer racers, aka one of the concepts for the racers in the Cars movie, just so happened to be a Pizza Planet racer. He was scrapped and probably for the better so that we could have Todd the Pizza Planet truck in this movie. But I gotta admit, Racer 18 still looks really cool and he's a pretty good concept overall. I think his color combo looks really nice. He chose the space green Pizza Planet logo rather than the red and white one. And I gotta say, it was a good choice because ultimately, it does not disappoint. Not that there's anything wrong with the red or white logo. It's just that the green one on this car is just built different. And I even think the design looks incredible. I mean, just take a look at him. He looks fantastic. Also, fun fact about him. He inspired one of my own missing 7 racers that I made up, which is also a Pizza Planet racer, but uses different colors from him, the red and white ones. Pizza Planet is just one of my favorite Easter eggs in any Pixar movie, and to see that they were originally supposed to have a Pizza Planet racer in the first Cars movie, it's just pretty cool to me. Runner-up to first place, we have Racer 72, aka the Owl's Toy Barn Racer. I think it's pretty obvious why his sponsor wasn't in the movie. But enough about this sponsor that went bankrupt, and rightfully so. Let's just talk about the racer. I think his color combination is really nice. I'm loving the sky blue with the little hints of red and green and somewhat brown. I also think that his design is really splendid as well. I mean, seriously. I personally think that he's one of the best looking teaser trailer racers. And I gotta say, he's incredible. Now, let's move on to number 1, shall we? This is it. The number 1 best Cars 2005 teaser trailer racer. The best concept for a Cars 1 racer. Really excited to rank this guy, to be honest. But unfortunately, I also feel kind of sad about this last one. Why? Because he's not only the last 2005 teaser trailer racer that I'm ranking, but he's also the last Piston Cup racer that I'm ranking as a whole on my channel. About a month ago, I made an announcement about Piston Cup ranking lists saying that I was pretty much just done with making them on my channel. I was originally going to make ranking lists using this format on these kinds of racers, but in the end, I decided that there were too many racers and too many generations, and I just want to do ranking lists that I've never really done before using this format, since they're more unique now. Plus, I only really did so many revisions because I just wanted to show if any of my opinions had changed or not. If you've seen that announcement, you'll see that I did some revised tier lists to show any of my opinion changes, and boy, I had quite a few, but let's just say they still look the exact same as they do now, with a few minor exceptions, but point is, I haven't had too many opinion changes. And my favorites then are still my favorites now, so yeah. This doesn't mean I'm completely done talking about Piston Cup racers though. Whenever I do a review on one of their diecasts, I might still talk about my thoughts on them. And yes, I know, there's a whole generation of racers called the Deluxe Racing Days racers. But to be honest, at this moment at least, I have no plans on ranking them. Sorry guys. But enough about that. It's time to show who is my favorite Cars 2005 teaser trailer racer. Who will be considered one of my favorites from their respective generations? Well, that racer will be Racer 65. Sorry about that long pause, everybody. Had to let that music kick in for a second. But anyways, I freaking love Racer 65. Now, why is it that of all the mother frickers in this trailer, I love Racer 65 the most? Well, because I love everything about him, basically. First of all, this dude's design goes so hard. And not only that, but his colors as well. The purple, lime green, and white just look so good together. They just blend so well and look nice. I just can't do it. It just looks so good, man. Racer 65 is just so cool. I even love that cyan blue was the outliner for his number font. His design and colors just scream Buzz Lightyear, and I frickin' love it. Even his pit crew is so cool. Like seriously, do you see how fast they are and everything? Not to mention that his sponsor is Trunk Fresh, which is actually a sponsor that made it into the final version of this movie. And while I am kind of sad that they went with black instead of purple, I do still think that the racer he was scrapped for was still a pretty good racer. Whose Cars video game counterpart is a pretty good racer. Whose Cars 3 variant of himself is a pretty fine racer. Followed up by a grossly overrated racer. But overall, Racer 65 is the coolest looking Cars 2005 teaser trailer racer, and you guys cannot change my mind. Well done, Racer 65. Enjoy being on the throne of 2005 teaser trailer racers. You are truly one of the best. So, what did you guys think? Do you guys agree with any of my opinions, or do you have some differences? Either way, it's perfectly fine, and if you disagree, it's your opinion. More power to you. At the end of the day, I just had some fun sharing my thoughts on this generation with you all and their racers. This was a really fun set of racers that I just love so much. They had all sorts of Easter eggs from other Pixar movies and sponsors that even made it into the final version of the movie. I just think they're so cool and very underrated, to be honest. But anyways, that'll do it for this video today. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you want, and comment down below, and don't forget to hit the notification bell and everything. This is Kirby Games and Gaming Productions 39. See y'all next time.